I'm Nadine Rapson.
And I'm Andrew Bonn.
And together we are going to try and navigate you through the card in the World Sports Betting East Cape Derby. I'll be in front of the camera.
And I shall be behind the camera and I shall be editing the program. Hopefully,
we can point you
in the right direction.
In race 3, you're represented by number 7, Fairyland.
I think she's bred to go over the 14, and I know it's against winners again, but she ran a very good race last time against winners when she finished third behind Alan Stew. I think quite decent horses.
No, it's Steady Breeze won a decent race last time out, beating I feel some decent type of fillies, and she'll enjoy the 1400. She's got Gavin up when his form speaks for itself. I think he had 5 the other day, so she'll get the help from the saddle. Alaskan Fate looking for this kind of a trip. Family members all want to have a ground, and she's looking for even further than this, but she's going to enjoy the extended trip. Plus, she's in good order. I expect her to be running on. Nevertheless, grazing filly, also out of a Fort Wood mare, she's going to enjoy the trip. Strong help in the saddle. I wouldn't leave any of them out of the quartet.
We start off in race 3, and it's a race you're very familiar with, having scored with just Chaos this time last year. And you'll be represented by Effort and Scarborough Fair.
Yes, both of them are pretty decent fillies. There's not much between the two of them. I know they are taking on winners, but, you know, unfortunately they haven't been able to crack their maidens before. I know Scarborough Fair had a couple of issues on the grass last time, but we have sorted them out, and we have given her a run on the poly around the turn, so that would have brought her on a lot. And Effort ran against the boys over the 1400. She was very green around the turn, so both of them have come on. And with a weight allowance, hopefully we can give them a go.
Captain Anne Bonny, the fillies nursery winner, she'll be where you start off.
Yeah, unfortunately we missed the open nursery against the Colts. We didn't want to take a chance and put her on the poly. You know, she's got her knees are still a little bit open. But she must have a big chance if she stays. The only reason we're really running her, we don't get to gallop on the course. You know, the Cape Town trainers can go to Durbanville. We don't have that option. So we're putting in this 14. If she stays and stays well, the Lady Slipper will be her mission. If she doesn't stay well, then the Daily Plate will be her mission, and maybe even both. But there's only one filly that's been the distance in this race and ran a reasonable 4th, so she must have a big chance.
Yes, no, it's a little filly, but she's been consistent. Ran on quite strongly last time, and I thought, the 1400 will suit her. She'll be running on at the end.
Race 4, small field, and you'll be represented by One Destiny and the first-timer Guthrie.
I think Guthrie's quite a smart horse, but he hasn't raced, so you can never tell how he's going to perform when it comes to actual racing. And I think One Destiny is probably going to need this run.
Brevin showed improvement last time out.
Yeah, another horse that we would have loved to have given a gallop around the bend and shown him the true course. But we never had that option again, so we gave him 3 runs up the straight just to get him really racing fit. He's now going over the distance that he'll run a lot better, a lot closer. He's bred to go even further, but I think he's got a big chance. We'll just have to watch that first time of Yvette's. I see it was favoured early in the week, and let's see what Brahm does. If he backs it, obviously that's the danger.
Very open race. Bolt Call's got to come back to himself, but he does enjoy the turf. He does enjoy the 1400. I think back end of quartets. Raimundo, he hates the polytrack. His polytrack form is dismal, but he's effective on turf. He should be thereabouts. Another Lexington expecting improvement. He's been green in running, and he'll enjoy the 1400 metres, and he's got to pull at the weights, and he'll enjoy this kind of race.
In race 5, speedy lineup, but you are well represented with Via Seattle, Sugar Pova and Mrs. O.
Via Seattle, she ran a really good race last time out, winning that race because we honestly thought she'd need it. Good filly. She's always done really well. I think the 1,000 metres is probably going to suit Sugar Pova. And Mrs. O ran her boots off last time. It was a really, really good run. So I'm expecting a good run from all of them.
La Roquette has her first start for you.
Very, very strong field. The strongest field and most open race on the card. La Roquette's coming back from a bit of a break. She could probably need it.
She's better over 6 furlong. But, I had to run because there just isn't, off her rating, there isn't a 1200 right now for her. So I've been waiting and plotting and planning. She's been best effective up the straight. So we take them on in the 1,000. But I must say it's a very competitive field. There's some good fillies in there.
Yeah, there's a nice bunch of fillies there. CARLITA, we've added the blinkers and the tongue tie, so I think she ran on nicely last time, moved up, looked like she was going to go on with it, and just didn't finish it off that day. Both Via Sacra, Seattle Oak have got a lot of toe and will be right up there with the leaders in the early part of the race, and I think it's not going to be a race that they're going to dilly-dally. Make It Rain, on the other hand, will enjoy exactly that. She likes to come from off them, and I think with a strong pace up front, she'll be running on.
On to race 6, where you have a handful of runners, all of Flight Captain, always gives of his best, also including Autumn in Seattle, Fort Winter and Le Grand Rouge.
Well, you'd think Flight Captain would probably be the best one out of that lot on his East Cape sprint. He finished the best of the Port Elizabeth horses. Fort Winter enjoys the 1200, nice lightweight. Le Grand Rouge, 12's not his best trip, but he is very, very well. Autumn in Seattle, I don't know if he's going to enjoy the 1200, but we've got to run him, we've got to try him.
Amazon King is a steady performer.
Yeah, he's always thereabouts. He had little back issues which we sorted out for his last run. He ran a credible race. He was moving well, and I expect him to be knocking.
You've got the sprinting stalwarts EXELERO and OMEGA Onslaught running for you in race 6.
Yeah, put a line through EXELERO's last run. He's a 1200 metre horse. The 1000 or in the 1100 is a bit on the sharp side for him. He ran a lot closer. He's running. This will be his last season. He's got another 1 or 2 runs left in him, and I've just worked him. He's working very well. We've got to beat that Cape Town horse, Percival. We've got to beat him, and OMEGA Onslaught. You know, he ran 3rd just in front of the filly, ran 2nd in the computer form sprint. So he's got to have a good chance. And I worked him half an hour earlier. He worked very well. I think I prefer him to EXELERO.
Yeah, well, Seven Nastic's a little horse. He's been honest and always gives off his best. Seattle Flame, he's coming down the ratings. He's hasn't sparked of late, and I think he needs to drop a couple more points before he'll be competitive again. Shanti 3, well, he's as honest as the day is long, and we pick his races carefully, and we've had a bit of rain, and I think he'll enjoy the give in the ground.
Yes, Nadine, nice little fella. As you know, I've had him a couple of feature races, but it's far too short for him. Sad to think that I rate him quite highly, yet he's only a one-time winner. He's more of a polyhorse, I think, than the grass, but we have to take our chances. He's only a 3-year-old once, and we're in the lineup.
In saying that, his last run on grass was the Derby Plate, and it was actually one of his better efforts.
Yes, Nadine, a couple of months ago, he ran a shorter second behind National Park, which we all know has done us quite proud for P racing out of town. And on that occasion, Zechner came to a straight, grass, 800 metre long straight, and he let rip. And on the day, I thought it wasn't one of his best rides. But in hindsight, we realised that obviously he likes to float. So last time out, Derby Plate, I said to Govea, it's no use trying something and it doesn't work. Rather go do it now and see if it works or not. So I said to him, go out, dictate if you want to, come the straight and let him stride and see if they catch you. And unfortunately, he tried to tuck me in first. And only got going late. While he was in front till probably 100 out or so. So he came back and said to me, we definitely have to go for the Derby. And he said, next time out, don't wait. He floats, he strides, he just doesn't stop. He doesn't quicken much, but he doesn't stop. But unfortunately, as racing is, Ryan Mongan got injured, and he got the job offer with Yvette Bremner. So we were spot on for the Derby. I lost my Jacques.
World Sports Betting, East Cape Derby, and In a Perfect World seems to be peaking at exactly the right time.
Yeah, he lost his way. We thought quite highly of him, and he lost his way after his first win, and started to pick it up again. I don't know if he's strong enough to take on this opposition right now, but his form suggests that he might have a place chance.
Princess Vicky is up next in race 8.
We're trying the mile. I don't think it's an ideal trip for her. If it was a 14, I'd be very confident.
Yes, Just My Style was unlucky the other day. Unfortunately, Ryan fell off and hurt his shoulder, so I wasn't able to get a jockey for her, and everything shifted to the Polly. So I opted rather to scratch her and wait for another day, and I actually think this race might even be better for her. Her work has been very good, so hopefully we're in with a shout.
Silver Goblet's coming back from being off form. She had a little issue with the tendons and her back, and she's now moving well. She's sound, and she can be knocking on Friday. She'll enjoy the sting out the ground. The new filly, look, I think her work has been decent, and I think she'll be in the quartets.
Don't Stop Dancing runs for you in race 8.
Yeah, after the last run, she got injured. She had a bit of a break. She's coming back from a bit of a break. She could need it, but she'll definitely run into the quartets.
Yeah, DELIA'S DELIGHT. I mean, she's been a model of consistency since arriving in the Eastern Cape, and you know, she's a big runner. Studio Blues likewise. I think she's only finished furthest back is 1/4. The rest of her runs have been first or second, so I think there'll be a tussling. Silver WILLOW, I think she still might need this run. She gave her a sprint and going over a little bit more ground, but I think she might still be in need, especially if you worry about second run after layoff syndrome.
Big one on the day, World Sports Betting, East Cape Derby, and Jay's Hawk will be doing duty for you.
I think he's a nice horse, but he's still very, very immature. I forget that he's won those races. I don't think he even knows that he's won a race yet. But he's a good little horse, and I think he'll be a good stayer.
Speaking about Just Chaos, she'll be taking on the boys in our World Sports Betting East Cape Derby.
Yes, unfortunately, Just Chaos had a bit of a hiccup in her racing career when I sent her up to Joburg. She picked up a bit of a bug, which she wasn't able to shake it until she actually came back to PE. Ran her in the Guineas, which was a touch too short for her, and she wasn't exactly 100% coming off. As I said, recovering from her Joburg trip. And then I ran her in the Oaks, where she ran a very good run to run third, which was her second run after her, so-called layoff. Yeah. And I'm hoping that that's good enough to bring her into the race. The only thing against her is the bad draw, and obviously taking on the boys.
All the owners wanted runners, so I gave them runners. We're there on the feature race day, and their prep's gone very well. They're fit horses. WILDCAT's first time over the trip. He ran a decent race in the Derby Plate, and as well as Tom and Jerry, also decent race, and it's his third now after gelding, because he's had 2 gallops in between. His work's been good. And BRIGADOON earlier, I think he's the dark horse as well. He's a big, burly, staying type of a horse. I felt he could have won his last race. Unfortunately, it moved to polytrack and didn't suit him. That 300-metre running, he just runs around and he wasn't concentrating, and he can't quick enough. So he'll enjoy the 2-4 on the turf track.
Rounding up with a trifecta of runners, Jungle Fairy, VIP Club, and Overtaking.
Overtaking, a nice filly. She has to just get stronger. Jungle Fairy, she's been honest. She doesn't always have it her own way, because she likes a fair pace, and to quicken off that. And VIP Club, well, she's done very well since she's come back from her holiday.
Rounding up with 4 in race 9, a couple of triers there. Viva Le Bleu, Touch of Green, La Lina, and Jatango tonight. Yeah,
no, it's all 4 like you say. I wouldn't leave them out of quartets and the exotics. Their form is thereabouts. They're knocking. Viva Le Bleu also changed to polytrack last time. We were drawn shockingly. We ended up right at the back. She didn't have a chance in running. She'll be better this race, although she's also drawn wide again. We'll have to drop in. Lalina's always been running on. She'll be thereabouts. Touch of Green had a smart race. She ran on third, but running on strongly, so she'll enjoy the mile. Jatango ran 4th last time with Kendall on. I kept Kendall on her, and she ran a decent race. She'll enjoy the sting out the ground. She is looking for a touch further.
Yeah, 3 times a lady, ran a good race last time. Badly drawn on Saturday, and she'll be have to run for a bit of luck from that draw. Fool's Garden likewise ran a very good race time before also when she last ran, and I think if I had to choose, most probably 3 times a lady, but the draws a worry. Fool's Garden will be there if she repeats her last run.
Fly Thought had his first run for Woodruff in our yard in the Oaks, a very strong field. But I was very happy with that run. I think she ran 2 lengths behind. I think it was really called Just Chaos. She was like 10 kilos out at the weights and 2 lengths behind her. She's settled in very well. She's working well. I think she's a huge runner. The mile, maybe a little bit short, but in this type of field, I think she's a big runner. Street Gaze, last time out to 1800, just a little bit too far for her. She's better over a mile. She gives her races away at the start. She doesn't jump well. She comes from too far back. She has traffic problems all the time. If she gets a clear run, she's a big runner.